teams are making their way out. Scarborough in their all-red strip. Darlington in a chain strip of a turquoisey blue with black socks on, and hooped along the front with the black hoops as well. Let me tell you the teams then for this afternoon's encounter. There's 2 changes for Scarborough Athletic. Luca Colville misses out with that ankle injury after rolling it against Peterborough on Saturday. And also out of the side is Kieran Willage, who scored in this fixture last year, but he is suspended following his red card against Radcliffe. So Whitley is in goal. A back 3 of Duckworth, Thornton and Wadsworth. Tia and Waldron we expect to be wing backs. Coyle and Perver in midfield, with Allen and Green ahead of those. Bennett is up front. Theo Chapman, Stephen Walker and Alex Walpole are on the bench, and possible confirmation that Luke Rees will be joining them as well. Can't see him at the moment as Jonathan Greening and the rest of his coaching staff make their way across towards the dugouts ahead of this Boxing Day encounter. A good afternoon to any Darlington fans who might be joining us from the northeast. Your team news today shows 2 changes. Cedric Main comes back into the side after missing out in the 1-1 draw against Kings Lynn. Tom Allen is dropped from the side, whilst Toby Lees, who scored on Boxing Day last year, replaces Ben Headley in defence. Peter Jameson, who's got a decade worth of derby encounters against Scarborough Athletic on Boxing Day, he is in goal. Scott Barrow, Elliot Forbes, Toby Lees and Max Howells are the back 4. Howells playing against Scarborough in the North Riding Senior Cup final. Will McGowan, Tom Platt the captain, York City Loney, Paddy McLaughlin and Charlie Lennon complete a 4-man midfield, with former Sea Dog Aidan Rutledge and Cedric Main up front. Ben Headley, Matty Cornish, Tom Allen, Ellis Stanton and Matty Cornish and Liam Mason and Ty Barton. They are the substitutes this afternoon for the visitors. So another year, Boxing Day, Scarborough versus Darlington. In this part of the world in non-league football, Darren Foreman, it's a mouth-watering fixture for these 2 clubs. Yeah, it's a fixture that both clubs look for, and they thoroughly enjoy the rivalry they've had over the years. They've been rivals now in the same division for the last 4 or 5 seasons. Had some good battles back in the Football League days with them. Any memories come rolling back? Yeah, I scored after 13 seconds there, Darlington 1 year. So, yes, for me, yes. Well, let's see how quickly we have a goal today. There was 7 last year up in the northeast in the fog and darkness, but at the minute in this lunchtime kick-off, gorgeous sunshine overlooks the North Sea. The pitch certainly looks like it's dried out a little bit, might still be a bit bobbly and a bit chaotic for both teams, but let's see how the sides go as a throw-in is given on the far side. Was just waiting for a minute there to see if Rocco Coyle was going to get a free kick in front of the dugouts, and in fact he has. Didn't hear the referee's whistle blow, but a free kick is what's been given on halfway, and Duckworth is going to be the one to take it and punt it forward in the opening minute. 4-4-2 then, Darren, and 2 changes which are in force for Scarborough Athletic. Even though there's got very little on the bench to play with, they've still got a strong 11 out on the park. Yeah, for sure. And Green into the area with the first attack. It was a very nicely threaded ball down the right hand side. Come back to Darren's thoughts in a moment on the team as a cross is supplied, looking for Rio Allen on the edge of the area. Cleared away though by the visitors, and Rutledge holds it up and plays the ball in field now towards McGowan, looking to find Main sprinting forward on this right hand side. Wadsworth wins the ball back, then tries to clear it forward. Main is trying to push a through ball and goes out for a throw-in. He was offside there, Linesman didn't give it, but he didn't, he was offside. Yeah, going back to the side, Fletch, a few players out of position, so it'll be interesting to see if you can. Sorry, mate, if we could just get some commentary, I just can't see the penalty area. Sorry. If we could just get some sort of like team playing, if we can. It's difficult. Just ask you to maybe mind out the way, please. Thank you. Technical problem. Sorry, just asking a fan to just mind out of the way because it was obscured with our view there, so apologies for that. He's a big tall chap as well, which didn't help things, but perfectly nice chap. Yes, lovely chap, big chap as well. Throw in for Scarborough Athletic. Yeah, I think it'll be difficult today, Fletch, because in respect of there's a few players out of position today I think. Wadsworth throws the ball down the line. Green trying to flick it through. Rio Allen plays now to Green once again. And the ball goes out for a throw. So the game hasn't really got too much tempo to it so far, but a quick throw up towards Richie Bennett. Bennett plays now towards Jack Waldron. Waldron trying to clip a ball in, headed away by Lees. Comes out to Perver, who's a former Darlington man, of course, into Allen now. 20 yards out, smothered up by those in those turquoise colours. And it will be cleared away, however, by Platt. Up towards halfway. Duckworth side foots the ball down into Tia. And now Rio Allen again. Positive start from Scarborough. Seem to have more territory in the final third. Cross from Tia over Bennett's head. And McGowan just slices the ball up into the air. Perver recollects and plays to Waldron coming down this left-hand side today. Play just breaks up in the centre of the park. McGowan takes the ball that time off Perver and runs forward. Howells having a little dribble past Wadsworth. Then forward again, looking for Cedric Main, trying to get through into the area on the right. Whitley comes out and dives down on it and breaks up play. So 0-0, 3.5 minutes gone.
Yeah, high line there for Scarborough. Got to be careful, just holding that line. Get some pace up front, Darlington.
Rio Allen, he's got the ball 30 yards out. Left-hand side, been bypassing the midfield in the early stages. Allen plays now towards Harry Green. Green tiptoeing into the area, carves out a cross which is way too strong in the end. It's flown over Dom Tia's head, and Tia will try and play the ball down the right hand side. Little block comes here over by Charlie Lennon, who wears number 17, another man on loan from Middlesbrough. Duckworth just calling a bit of calm.
Rio Allen's been prominent in the early stages, coming off the wing. He's right in beside Richie Bennett, which is it's good to see.
Scarborough haven't scored in the first half an hour of matches in the last 10 games, which will have a factor on their form card as well, which we'll go through in a minute. But Allen is dancing into the area again and tries to cross in, but that one will just trickle wide of the far post. This is a very energetic start, and Rio Allen is at the thick of it as he just side foots it wide of the target, with the first shot chalked up. And this is promising from the home side after 5 minutes. 0-0.
Yeah, well, said Rio Allen prominent in play early doors. Looks he's up for it, and I think he'll benefit from Richie Bennett being the number 9 and he's working around him rather than being the target man himself.
Rio Allen has had half starts and half substitute appearances so far this season, but just nudging himself back in front in that regard. Speaking to Scarborough away at Macclesfield ahead of the game, and just saying how the plan is probably to try and dip him in and out whenever possible, just to help him acclimatise in the first half of the season. Now he's getting a few goals to his name. Last two have come through penalties, as we see Elliot Forbes have possession just beyond the centre circle for Darlington. They've spread their 4-4-2 shape as wide as possible, as here comes Charlie Lennon trying to play a through ball again towards Main. Wadsworth on the right side of a back three hoists it away. Comes to Barrow in front of the dugouts on the far side, blocked by Dom Tia. That's a throw in. Steve Watson acting as ball boy, good friends with Jonathan Greening. They played alongside each other when they were at West Bromwich Albion. They were all smiles and laughing and joking ahead of kick-off as well when the team sheets were handed over at 11:30. Darlington's throw-in, flicked into the path of Main, has a shot after taking one touch edge of the area, and that just bobbles through harmlessly towards Ryan Whitley, who gets it straight in the breadbasket.
Yeah, Scarborough just because they've got the 3 centre-halves against 2, it's going to need to make sure then who's marking who and who's picking up who.
Here's Allen. Allen trying to make some movement to get in behind that back four again, 30 yards from goal. Coyle will play now to Tia. Whoops, Dom Tia trying to play it back to Rocco Coyle, who'd gone on an underlapping run, and Tia didn't get his head up, so Darlington now breaking the other way, but it's covered well by Wadsworth. The Hull City Looney now looking for a through ball through the air and down the middle, searching for Rio Allen, who'd gone ahead of Richie Bennett. Clipped forward, Wadsworth again, covering well. Waldron trying to now hoist one forward for Forbes, who hits it back towards Jameson, and his fluorescent highlighter green goalie kit He managed to get his left foot on it as both keepers get to task with this bobbly surface. Through ball for Howells, edge of the area, right hand side, trying to cut it back to the edges for Cedric Main, surrounded by 3, then goes for a chipping shot which was towards the back post. Whitley dives for it, smothers the ball down. Good goalkeeping, and the Darlington fans on the far side of the ground appreciate the rather ambitious attempt. Cleared down the middle and Bennett tries to flick it through, broken up by Darlington, but what's pleasing to see from an entertainment point of view, Darren, is this ball is zipping about from end to end. Yeah,
looks like it's both teams have kept up a high tempo to start with. You know, I'll be very surprised if we get a 0-0 one, but we don't want to give it the curse of death as such.
7 goals last season between these two. Darlington, on the subject of goals, Darren, were the most entertaining team in December. No more goals from anyone in the National League North in comparison to them. There was 44 goals in December matches for them, so they know how to score, but they know how to concede.
I think they've had problems keeping clean sheets, but all through the season as far as I'm aware.
Duckworth's header on halfway. Bit of head tennis ensues as Wadsworth then adds to the rally. Bennett leaps and can't do so. The rally comes to an end as on the far side Paddy McLaughlin has barged Rio Allen over the white paint of the touchline, but in an aggressive manner, but fair one because he was shielding the ball, and that's a throw-in in front of Jonathan Greening, who's got his grey bobble hat on, unzipped long winter jacket as you would expect with the cold conditions. Not many players out there in thermals or gloves this afternoon though, as Lees flicks the ball away over his head from 20 yards out. Headed on by McLaughlin once again as Perver tries to bring some calm, and a poor clearance from Darlington gives Green a chance. In on goal, big save from Jameson. Perver in midfield had a little head tennis battle, and then a ball was cannoned into the chest of Perver and worked its way to a through ball for Harry Green. One touch, took a swipe on the left foot, but parried away that time by Jameson for a corner.
Yeah, didn't quite get enough on the ball. It sort of dribbled to the keeper. The keeper made a half decent save, but good chasing down initially by Harry Green. Could have probably taken on another yard or two before he had the shot, but a decent approach by initially by Scarborough.
10 minutes played, 0-0 here at Queensgate on BBC Radio York, as the ball is delivered low to the front post, swatted away by Darlington. Duckworth picks up the pieces, quite an aggressive ball back out to Perver. He's headed it to Green, corner of the area on the left. Green trying to work it back to Perver. In comes Howells, who tries to clear, cannoned against Perver, but then there's enough bodies around in blue and black to clear the ball away. Rocco Coyle on the halfway line, gets a shove through the back, and a very quiet blow of the whistle again from the referee brings a free kick on the halfway line.
Yeah, Harry Green needs to take care there. If he'd taken care, Alex Perver was in again. Just needed to take care of his pass, made a sloppy pass, and unfortunately that allowed Darlington to clear the lines.
Just the one goal in Scarborough colours for Alex Perver. Imagine if he got his second against his former employers. As Waldron has got the ball placed down just past halfway. Wadsworth and Duckworth are sitting back on the centre circle. Waldron got his first goal for Scarborough Athletic against Darlington with that effort which was meant to be a cross and ended up flying into the back of the net. Into the area from Waldron. It just skips past Bennett, cleared away by Lees. There's a couple of headers take place, and Duckworth again near the centre circle, side-footing the ball forward. Bennett,
offside.
Edge of the area, flags up, well spotted Darren Foreman, offside before he can get really into motion inside the box. 0-0.
Yeah, what we'll give with Scarborough is Duckworth and Wadsworth have both come to on the ball. So when we're going forward, they should be able to get on the ball, and we should be able to get some passing movements going. Defensively, Basketball will have problems because neither of them are natural centre halves.
No. Wadsworth playing on the right hand side of the three with Thornton in the middle. Duckworth playing on the left. Tia and Waldron are either side, so plenty of attacking, expansive play of the offering from those playing out wide, as Max Howells appeals for a free kick on the edge of the area, feels there was a shirt pull, and fans to our right hand side not impressed. Howells got the goal against Middlesbrough under 21s in the North Riding Senior Cup, as Aidan Rutledge He's got the ball in his hands. Just apologies for any bad language that's coming from us on this right-hand side. The former Borough man Aidan Rutledge has the ball in his hands. And here's me thinking that he was respected around these parts. Turns out this faction of the crowd aren't so sure. As he does throw it in, Bennett leaps with Platt. Neither got onto it and it's cleared away. Green trying to then turn the ball forwards. Rutledge dribbles the ball out of play, and that will be a throw-in on this near side touchline.
I'm not so sure about my centre forward taking long throws, but I'd much rather use in the box. But he can come and take long throws as long as he likes for me. But I'm not quite sure about. It was a reasonable long throw, but he gives him a bit of extra height up front.
Yeah, he's not certainly small, is he, Aidan Rutledge? But I mean, we've seen weirder things. We saw Harry Kane on corners in Euro 2016.
Well, we did, yeah, we did.
There's a blast from the past. Wadsworth on halfway. Intercepted by McLaughlin. Ball forward. Cedric Main into the area. Takes a shot on. He looked offside from here. Hence the upheaval from the fans to our right-hand side. Now, whether or not he arced his run in behind Dom Tier, I'm not so sure. But the linesman kept his flag down. Scarborough, at least 4 of the back 5 put their arms up in appeal, but it's a throw-in on the far side.
I'll make that decision for you, Fletch. He was about a yard offside, definitely. Looked it to me. I think the linesman was behind play rather than being with play. And I think if he'd have been in line with the play, he would have seen that was offside.
Well, it's a short throw-in on the far side of the ground at the rugby stand end as Green comes in and smothers Scott Barrow, 37-year-old fullback, former York City man Gateshead, and Port Talbot, where he first started his career with his Welsh origins. He's got the ball in his hands again. There's 6 in the area in turquoise and black as it's thrown towards the penalty spot. Thornton with a solid header into the ground as the ball runs out of the box, and it will be regathered by McLaughlin. We're looking to run through the middle. Green cuts off that angle, distributed left, ball into the area, and then Rutledge.
That's a booking for me.
Appealed for a penalty. It looked as though one of the centre halves who'd stayed forward, Elliot Forbes, went diving down. No penalty, and there wasn't much appeal on the pitch either as the ball's gone out for a throw-in near halfway on the far side for Darlington.
Yeah, for me that's a booking. Clear simulation, but hey, referee let it go. Trying to get by a penalty was no contact whatsoever.
You're listening to BBC Radio York. 12:30 kick-off between Scarborough Athletic and Darlington. A quarter of an hour gone. It's Scarborough Athletic 0, Darlington 0. Just to mark your card for York City supporters and Harrogate Town fans that York City will be on its usual FM and BBC Sounds at 3 o'clock when they welcome Boston United. Whilst Harrogate travel to Salford today, that will be on DAB digital radio. And our build-up to those 2 games will commence at the conclusion of Scarborough Athletic against Darlington. Any reaction from Jonathan Greening and any players will be available via BBC Sounds. Darlington trying to thread a through ball to Cedric Main. He's one-on-one against Wadsworth here, trying to create a yard of space, takes the shot on, was leaning backwards, lost all the power in the shot as he hit it right-footed, and that's an easy one for Ryan Whitley to come and claim.
It's about the 3rd time he's got in behind though, Cedric Main. Hasn't finished with any sort of authority, but he's definitely gotten himself into some good positions, which would be a bit of a worry for Jonathan Greening.
Wouldn't think he was a former academy man of Ajax, the man who's wearing gloves and short sleeves. He's got his hands on his hips at the moment as he has squandered a few chances brought back into the side today, as Scarborough have a throw-in up at the final third.
I can think of a few ex-managers who'd be taking them gloves off him. I can think of from
well, one manager certainly springs to mind, and he's Sean Dyche has made him go viral again. Brian Clough talking about players' preparations on Christmas Day, but players certainly look like they've looked after themselves as the ball runs through towards Ryan Whitley in his all-black kit. He's going to look after the ball for as long as possible, invites Main forward before picking it up as he tries to clear the ball to the right-hand side. Sliced, but runs through towards Dom Tier calmly. Tries to get it down the line, blocked by Darlington and out for a throw-in over on the far side. Jonathan Greening's always a nice positive chap, isn't he, Darren? I think that he trusts the players, and he's obviously trusted them with maybe making 1 or 2 slightly more peculiar alterations there with Waldron playing as a left wing back, Wadsworth at centre half as well.
I think, without a shadow of doubt, that the players trust him, he trusts the players, and I think that emanates onto the pitch. The players, they all pull in the same direction. That's the reason why Scarborough have done so well this year. There is no magic formula for them. They just, over the last 2 or 3 seasons, they've just become a good team unit.
They don't look heavy, Scarborough Athletic. They look like they've been loading up on spuds yesterday afternoon. It's been quite a fast-paced end-to-end contest, but no goals as yet here. Scarborough Athletic 0, Darlington 0, 17.5 played. Howells comes forward from right wing-back for Darlington. He tries to curve a ball into the area. Main gets his touch, headed onto the post and away. Wadsworth will clear. I was a bit nervous there. I thought it was going to drop harmlessly into a empty space 6 yards out for the on-running Aidan Rutledge to tap in, but it was negotiated away safely by those in red. And Tia tries to bring it down the right wing, runs out of room. It's going to be a throw-in, but Main, 4th chance he's had after 20 minutes, and he's cannoned the post this time with a header.
Yeah, that was more like a chance and a decent header. Ron Whitley be happy that it just bounced back off the post. Just worked a 2v1 on Jack Waldron on this right hand side.
Long throw down the line for Darlington. It flies past Jonathan Greening's technical area. Duckworth will hack it away, but Darlington immediately get the ball forward as well. Thornton managing to out-jump 2 strikers of Darlington colours as Paddy McLaughlin then plays it back towards Lees. Lees will carry the ball past halfway. He's got runners through the middle. Wadsworth slides in to try and take it off Rutledge. They have a second battle and then cleared away by Duckworth. Perver, centre circle, reclaims possession. Bennett calmly into Rio Allen, takes a good touch past Barrow. Foot race is on as Allen will try and dance past him, but Barrow, with all that experience, keeps him on guard. Back to Rocco Coyle, who's drifted out wide. Allen again with Bennett and Waldron running forward. Neat footwork between Green and Tia. Edge of the area, Green tries to lay it off to Perver, but that's a good block from Darlington's defence. Ball will run through towards Duckworth, however. He's going to try and get Scarborough attacking again. A couple of attempted through balls which are blocked by Darlington, and then Perver side foots it out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. Good
initial play by Rio Allen, kept the ball, worked it into Harry Green. A nice flick back by Harry Green, then just got stuck between 2 stools on the edge of the box. I think if he'd taken another touch and another shot maybe.
Throw-in then in the midfield of Darlington. Mid-third, I should say, as Perver leaps above McLaughlin, headed towards Thornton. Once again, that sort of old school aerial contest taking place between the 2 sides, as now big diagonal is hit, looking for Howells overstretching, and Waldron can let that one run out of play for a throw-in down to our right hand side. So 0-0, first 10 minutes, Scarborough probably looked the better. Darlington have responded since with 3 or 4 decent chances, which Whitley's made a good save to a couple of them, Main hitting the post as well. So the momentum maybe just swinging a little bit in that persuasion, but as we've mentioned, Darren, it has got promise for some goals.
Yeah, both teams are doing the right things, trying to get the ball forward, trying to get keep the tempo high.
Down the middle they roam. Charlie Lane with a shot from quite a way out. That one again straight down the middle, and that's no real bother for Ryan Whitley, who we've been able to watch that for a long time. He gives the ball a thud through the air. Bennett just a yard off being able to leap correctly, and it's headed out by the visitors for a throw-in just past halfway. Waldron just asking Allen and Green just to tuck over a little bit as he looks for Bennett down the line, who a handful of shirt from Toby Lees. Perver's then appealing for a free kick because Allen got nudged, but I think there was nothing really too malicious in that. I think that was just an accidental coming together on the edge of the box on the left hand side. Let's just notice Rocco Coyle having a word with the referee as they make their way into some starting positions, because the ball has wandered out for a goal kick in all of that.
We've just got to be careful in the middle of midfield there. They've got a 3v2 at times, and that's transferred across to the 3v2 we got at the centre half.
Coyle's done well to win the ball in the air as Darlington play forward. Duckworth's header, and again Darlington trying to creep forward. And then the ball sliced over to this near side. Howells trying to flick it in behind Jack Waldron. Waldron in a foot race. These two have met before in academy football. Howells tries to deliver, and that again gobbled up by Ryan Whitley. Not the right area, as he angled it towards the near post. And Whitley tries to clear it away. I know he's only got 8 seconds, but he looked a bit rushed there. As Darlington win possession back again, Darren Foreman.
Yeah, Richie Bennett's got to do a wee bit better though, unfortunately. He's initially started in a good position, and then the centre half come past him.
Pervert now to Allen. They're digging deep in midfield, not once but twice, and then maybe just a late one left on him by Aidan Rutledge. And Pervert has remained down as he looks at his right leg, about midway up his shin. Rutledge was, I think, going in to block his attempted clearance away and just caught the aftermath as he gets back to his feet with no drama or protest, but it is a free kick.
I think Pervert saw him coming, I think, just stepped out of the way just so he didn't have to take the brunt of the tackle from Rutledge.
He's not a silly boy in the midfield for Scarborough, Alex Pervert. Robust as well. He's only missed 5 league games in the last 3 seasons. As Whitley takes the free kick, and it's a diagonal out to the left wing, brought down very well by Green. It was a perfect touch, gives him momentum into the box. Low cross comes in, and that's swatted away by Barrow, and behind that will be a throw-in rather than a corner. But that is exactly what Harry Green needs to do. Gets it down with pace and a low ball teasing the defence.
Great first touch, got out of his feet, good cross to his left foot across the box. Just needed someone just to get on the end of it, tap in for somebody there.
Well, I think Thornton was someone waiting at the back post, but there wasn't any attacking options ready to dart in, as we'll see this long throw in. Looking at how everyone's positioned towards the front of the 6-yard box, flicked by Thornton. It's not dealt with yet. Allen collects right of the area, 20 yards from goal, tries to play it to Coyle. Howells will now clear away as Darlington move forward down their left wing, as it's with Lennon delivering. Rutledge with a glancing touch, but wide of the target. That's another good chance that has not gone Darlington's way, but they're getting some good end product in the midfield area to make sure they get to the final third and cross the ball in. But what they need to do is they just need to perfect the final touch, and Rutledge heads wide, and that's a goal kick.
Yeah, should have scored 100%, got enough on it. Didn't probably get enough on it, unfortunately. That's where the problem is with the 3 centre halves. They need to make their mind up who's marking who when they've got one of them's going to be free, 2 of them are going to be marking, and they've got to make their minds up who's going to be the markers.
0-0 here. We've played 25 minutes on BBC Radio York. Just a reminder, you can have your say throughout the game, and whilst we're building up to York and Harrogate, we'll have reflection on Scarborough Athletic versus Darlington. It's 81333 on the text message, 08000 321 333 via WhatsApp. Just make sure you start your messages with the word York. There's Bennett dropping quite deep, gets a nudge through the back in front of Jonathan Greening's technical area, and that's a free kick in front of that duck out, which looks very, very light indeed. Can see 1 or 2 of the Scarborough players going on warm-ups. Good to see Stephen Walker back, at least on the bench today, as an offside flag has been raised on the far side. But you would want, from Jonathan Greening's point of view, you want Bennett and co to get the job done early and maybe spare Walker for Spennymoor, because I do genuinely get the feeling that it's a naming on the bench which is through necessity rather than the perfect timing.
Yeah, we mentioned it before, but there's no game time for him at all, just training wise. So it's going to be difficult for him to get himself in. But you know, it might feel as if he's ready for 15 minutes at the end, same as they did with Jake Hull. Just bring him in, you know, a bit at a time.
Yeah, Jake Hull out with a swollen foot, which, despite trying to get it ready for today, Boxing Day has come a little early for him, as Bennett trying to flick the ball past halfway. Oh, back pass from Barrow, might get Green in, but Jameson is across. He's able to clear away with a low ball to his left flank, but won back by Burra, and it's with, on this occasion, Dom Tier coming forward, trying to link up with Rio Allen, but Barrow is there to intercept in the left back position. Long ball away, headed by Michael Duckworth, who's probably been the quietest of the 3 centre halves. A back pass attempted by Darlow. Green very nearly getting onto it, but just lost his footing when trying to get up ahead of speed, as Charlie Lennon then gets tripped on the far side. Now gone out of play for a throw-in, but I'm really surprised that the referee has not given a foul Darlington's way. Steve Watson stands like a statue with a facial expression of shock. I'm really surprised that nothing was given the way of the visitors there.
I think Dom Tier did leave his foot in, but it was a bit too fractional for me, and went to ground long after the ball had gone out of play.
28 minutes we're approaching. Scarborough Athletic 0, Darlington 0 here on BBC Radio York. A bit more of a discussion being had over on the far side from the Darlington committee to the fourth official, as Bennett tries to flick the ball around the line. Can't do so. Clearance away by the visitors. Sees Waldron in possession, and he's timed Rutledge's presence by looking like he was going to just knock the ball back to Whitley. Saw Rutledge coming over his shoulder, and has now fed the ball forward after turning away to Harry Green, who wins a throw-in high up the pitch, and a chance for the Sea Dogs to maybe launch one into the penalty area. Instead they go short. Quick thinking from Waldron to find Harry Green at the corner flag, two around him in blue and black. One of those is Tom Platt, the captain, centre midfielder, getting right back in, and the ball's gone out of play, and it'll be a corner kick.
Yeah, I think Harry Green's where we're going to get our joy. If he can just peel off and get himself off of one of the centre half two, then I think that's where they're going to get the most joy, especially with his pace and trickery.
The message that came before, speaking to Michael Ingham and talking about how he likes Harry Green to go outside of his full-back and make sure then he can run in and supply the cross, but I think today's going to get more joy on an inverted run.
Yeah, I agree.
Apparently that was the Achilles heel of Darlington against Kings Lynn. As we await the corner, which is delivered to the front post. Doesn't beat the first man though, and that's a pretty anticlimactic moment as Howells and Coyle come together. Then Perver comes in with the slide tackle, prizes the ball only into the Darlington defensive line. Main trying to play a through ball, and Bennett, now he was rushing back to make sure he got the ball away, and he put his team in jeopardy there because he actually squared it across the middle of his own half, and Perver catches Howells when Bennett didn't realise there was time and space around him. Rocco Coyle makes that point to him, and Darlington get a free kick 30 yards from goal to the right of the D.
Yeah, picked the wrong option there, Richie Bennett. Got himself in a good position to help his team out defensively. Then I think back to the keeper was the option. Instead, just swung at the ball and allowed Darlington to mount an attack.
Half an hour played, 0-0. But a set piece, first dangerous set piece, that's gone the way of Darlington. And it's going to be their number 3, Scott Barrow. So much experience. He's been in this position many a time. Nearly 600 matches, and he's delivered one towards goal. Tipped away though by Ryan Whitley, and that'll be a corner kick. But the Darlington fans, well, they've been the ones who've been applauding and cheering their side on more strongly, I think, because they're the ones who are maybe tempting to break the deadlock over Scarborough at the minute. Yeah,
they're definitely in the ascendancy. They've caused problems for Scarborough going forward. Decent save by Ryan Whitley, but I wouldn't expect him to be beaten from that range, and also with the power on the shot.
Duckworth waiting on the front post because there might be a runner of Charlie Lennon. He's trying to be a decoy as the ball is now angled in, and Darlington score. It's been coming, and on this near side, Toby Lees, who netted from a set piece on Boxing Day last year, has flicked the ball home from the right hand side. Darlington deserve it, really. They have been teasing this Scarborough Athletic defence, and the visitors, after 31 minutes, have hit the front. Scarborough 0, Darlington 1.
Yeah, decent ball in, got across his man. I'm not sure who's picking him up, but got across his man. Difference has been they've had 2 corners and caused problems. We've had our 2 corners, and both of them have ended up at the near post cleared. You know, you've got to take, when you get an opportunity to knock the ball in, you've got to knock a good ball. Very Alex Perver-like as well, to be perfectly honest.
Charlie Lennon bringing Duckworth out of the penalty area as well to create that space as well for the run. And so now Scarborough have to do it from behind. And they've been behind in a few occasions in recent times on their own ground. Well, I say their own ground, the home ground.
Yep.
Happened against Bedford, happened against Radcliffe. it's happening again here. So 1-0 down, just a bit better quality in the final third has finally come through for Darlington, and it's cleared forward. Will Thornton heading the ball down to Wadsworth, who brings the ball over to a left back area, tries to play down the middle, and it will be a throw in. Apologies again for any foul language you can hear being picked up in our headset. It's quite blue, a bit like the Darlington kit.
As blue as the Darlington kit. I wouldn't be surprised at half time if Jonathan Green just changes it up a little bit. Not with who he's got on the pitch, but just the formation. I'm not quite sure that the five at the back is working.
Well, we know that he is always inclined to change things. As Rutledge, now he was bear hugged on the edge of the area, 25 yards from goal. Referee seeks advice from the linesman, who flags for it, and that will be a free kick, which has been met by displeasure from those alongside us.
I thought it was a foul.
I thought it was foul.
I'll be honest, I thought it was a foul. What I didn't think was, referee's in a good position, he's 10 yards away from the linesman, 40 yards away from it. If he doesn't think it's a free kick, then don't give it. You know, the linesman put his flag up after the referee made his decision that it wasn't a foul. So, you know, I did think it was a foul.
I think the linesman was well positioned as well.
He had a good view of it, but probably better than referee. But referee's refereeing at the end of the day, and they are there to assist. I get that. So they got to the right decision, but not the right way, in my mind.
So Will McGowan is over this, as well as Charlie Lennon, delivered in low quality. Duckworth puts his body in the way, comes back to McGowan. He's going to try and twist his way past Waldron on the right side of the box. Waldron not giving him an inch as McGowan continues to twist and turn, and Waldron sends him out to this near touchline. Block comes in as well, and then Waldron clears away. Great defending from Jack Waldron, met by the pleasure of the Borough fans to our right hand side as well. Darlington trying to slide a ball through, and Wadsworth is going to let this one run out of play. So it is Scarborough 0, Darlington 1. Toby Lees managing to find the back of the net, coming back from a 2-game ban after being sent off against Bedford. He's already been sent off twice this year, as Whitley places the ball down for this goal kick. So we've got 10 minutes to go, Darren, before half time.
Yeah.
How does Scarborough start to maybe try and find some good shoots up front in creating openings? Because we've mentioned Harry Green. Allen had a good start to the game, but now seems to have disappeared from it.
I think he's a bit like all three of the side of them up front. Me personally, I'd put Jack Waldron to right side, put Wadsworth on the left side, play the two centre halves, Duckworth and Thornton, and push Dom Tier on.
Yeah. Green looks to clear the ball away, and it's going to fly over Scott Barrow's head, and then a tangle in the midfield between Richie Bennett and Toby Lees. Now, there was a bit of pushing and shoving. They both went over. Referee's given a free kick, and now I think Bennett has said something out of term because he's been given a yellow card as well.
Referee gave a yellow card, didn't need to give a cut, just have a word with both of them. Both of them were pulling and pushing. Just have a quiet word with them is what he needed to do. I don't quite get why he needed to produce a yellow card. The centre half went down like a sack of spuds. Just have a quiet word with the pair of them. That's all he needed to do. He didn't need to book either of them.
Pete Jameson, goalkeeper for Darlington, placing the ball down carefully as Green is keeping an eye on Howells on this near side touchline, but it's heavily loaded up for a left hand flick on perhaps, as it's Bennett who wins the header. Comes to Elliot Forbes. Forbes, middle of the Scarborough half, plays back towards McLaughlin over towards Barrow, delivered in. Main tries to leap for it, so too did Wadsworth. Neither got it, and it's going to trickle out of play for a throw-in over on this near side. Goal kick even. It's just gone away from the corner flag.
I think Jonathan Green would be pleased to get him in a half-time as it is. You know, I think they want to be looking to keep it at one. Doesn't want to concede a second one before half-time. Give an opportunity to have a conversation with the lads, and also give a chance to change it up if he needs to with the formation.
Yeah, the difference, obviously, Radcliffe scoring on right on the stroke of half-time to double their lead a couple of weeks ago, which had a real negative feeling for the second half, especially when the third went in. Green wants to try and make it happen. Bennett, who's just gone up for a little duel, is slow to his feet. He's still trying to get himself back up, and he is now. It's been mentioned about his back and knee injuries, and I think he went down quite heavily there as Green tackles Howells on this near side touchline. It's a free kick. It was a rather fruity challenge coming in from Green. It was an aggressive one. Don't think it was one he needed to make in the circumstances, down this near side touchline, and Howells back up on his feet. It will be a free kick. The captain, Platt, has come over because I think he wants to mention to the referee how malicious that was, as it will be a free kick right on this touchline. How did you see that, Darren Foreman?
It was definitely a forwards tackle, that wasn't it? It was just a little bit late, Harry Green. Good decision, you know. One of those ones he probably could have produced a card for Harry Green, but you know, he didn't. But didn't really didn't need to make a challenge here particularly.
So free kick in a dangerous position for Darlington to cross in. Effectively a corner, if you like, 5 yards from the corner flag. There is 6 in the box to aim at. Angled towards the back post, but it's straight into the hands of Ryan Whitley. Rutledge didn't go up for it. He tries to block off Whitley's path to clear the ball away. And he's gone to pick out Harry Green as Howells, smallest man on the pitch, is able to head the ball safely away for Darlington. Comes to Tier. Perver on halfway, trying to immediately distribute the ball right when he could have had a touch. Throw in front of Jonathan Greening's technical area, over on the rugby side of the ground. Duckworth plays to Bennett again, getting in a tangle, going down a bit clumsy like, as the ball is going to work its way through towards Perver as Darlington clear. Possession changes hands quickly, and then it's lifted away by Darlington. Free header for Wadsworth in the centre of the park. Then Platt tries to get the ball down as well towards Main. Wadsworth wants to try and win it back, so too does Green, but McGowan trying to thread a ball through from midfield. Duckworth reads the game well and gets the ball now towards Dom Tier, as Tier has the ball right wing, looking to move the ball towards Perver. Back out now towards Rocco Coyle, who hasn't really had too much of an influence from midfield, not many touches, and the ball has gone out on the far side. Duckworth trying to thread a ball down the line, runs out of room, and before Rio Allen can bring it in, the linesman's got his flag up on the far side for a throw in. Yeah,
him and Perver have got 3v2 in the middle of midfield, and I'm sure Jonathan Green's seen it, or the coaching staff have seen it. Sorry, excuse me, the 4 who sat in front of the back 4 for us. Harry Green's now in that position. He's now pushed inside, but that then leaves us exposed this way. I think if we release one of the centre halves and make it a 4 at the back rather than a 5, that'll give us a 3v3 in the middle of midfield.
The big difference from Saturday, the same real for me, the difference being with Darlington being a playoff side, this had really the same feeling as Peterborough Sports on Saturday. It was very even, and then just a slight tweak from Scarborough at half-time, allowing Luca Colville and Tier to get in beyond Bennett Moore. Green has done that to a degree, but Rio Allen, I would argue, hasn't, as Waldron has pushed the ball towards Bennett, and then they get in a bit of a tangle together on this near side touchline. He wanted to let Waldron run down the line, Bennett, but the ball was easily intercepted. Waldron with a header to Platt in midfield, though, chested by Rutledge. Green, former teammates collide. Rutledge pushing it down the line to Howells. Howells, with his floppy blonde hair, will play the ball back to Platt, and now through to McGowan. Chance here for Darlington at the end of the half, and Rutledge trying to square it off on the 6-yard line, but it's gathered up by Ryan Whitley when players in blue and black hoops were arriving.
Yeah, sometimes it's how you react to what the other side do, and at the moment we don't seem to react to what they've done. They've sort of in the last 20 minutes have been on top, and we haven't been able to do anything about that.
Well, coming forward, Darlington again. Charlie Lennon, 3v3 towards the area left-hand side, twisting and turning. Rocco Coyle stands his ground, tracking back. He was able to take the ball off him. His clearance, however, is gathered by Barrow, taking a shot from a very long way out, 30 yards out, and that one was just a hit and hope, really. A couple of blocks and cannons about in the final third. Over to the left, where Darlington will get a throw in. 3 minutes to go of the 45. Jonathan Greening getting a drink of water and having a bit of a consultation with those around him. Ryan Blott, hands in pockets at the minute. He's scored in this fixture before. Jonathan Greening having a little turn back towards Jimmy Beadle and Michael Ingham as well. More fine-tuning, I think. It's not a case of they're playing poorly, Scarborough, but need to tweak things as the long throwing comes in, and it'll be cleared by Alex Perver. Halfway line, regathered by Darlington. A chance for them to just play a ball forward. Bennett out jumped in the air after Paddy McLaughlin had fired it forwards. Harry Green collects on the edge of his own area and now looks to move it into midfield. Allen lets the ball skim past him. Platt gets across him. Fans to our right hand side appeal for a foul, but there was nothing wrong with that. He just used his body well to help the ball back into Darlington possession. Duckworth has the ball now for Borough, trying to play it through. Given away again though, this time by Dom Tier. It's McGowan, 30 yards from goal, over to Rutledge on this right hand side, into the area, twists away from Wadsworth and then gets away from Perver, shoots but well blocked by Thornton. Still danger on though, as Darlington have it with Main on the left of the area. Not a lot of room to work with, lots of red around him. Twists to the left of the 6-yard box and then tees it back towards Charlie Lennon. Easy block, cleared away now by Scarborough. But again, the intensity from Darlington, good press, and they're having a spell here where they're not letting Scarborough out of their own half as Forbes flies a ball forward. Header won by Perver, House collects on halfway. But again, they're now coming forward. The flag for offside should go up, and it does. And you can tell what the Scarborough fans think of the linesman's performance in this first half, Darren Foreman.
Yep. That one was like the other two offside. We just keep giving the ball away at the moment. The ball keeps coming back. We keep giving it away. To take care of our passing, and also I think if we can just tweak with that formation at half time, that will help Scarborough. I think, especially going forward.
And tweaking the formation, we're in agreement of 4 at the back.
I would do, yes. That's what I think we might see. But you know, to be fair to Jonathan Green, and he is really good at sort of tweaking things at half time or during the game.
Let's see what happens though in the final minute of the 45 as Waldron, on a rare attack in the last few minutes for Scarborough. Waldron plays the ball in towards Harry Green at the corner flag. They've still managed to get a cross in, and Lees is able to swat it away. Perver then trying to come in. He's just been a bit gung-ho and trying to dive in for everything. He didn't have to do that, and Darlington come away with the ball. McGowan with Howells to his right-hand side, tries to play it through. It's an awful through ball. Runs out of play for a goal kick.
Good job for Scarborough. It was an awful through ball because he had a
the overload was on.
The overlapping player there. Wadsworth looks to be struggling with something.
Well, Wadsworth just peering to see where he is down here by the corner flag, slow to his feet. Yeah. Thornton was just pulling his socks up as well. He's trying to get the rally call into his teammates around him in red.
Got to get to half time as it is at 1.
Just the 1 minute of added time has been signalled as well. Didn't see the board go up before officials got his watch in his hand. As the ball is flicked through from the goal kick to Harry Green. One last attack perhaps for Scarborough. Green trying to chop away from Howells, who wants to try and deliver, then flicks it down the line towards Waldron. Don't think he needed to do that. It's a throw in right down by the corner flag, so they might just get enough time to take it. It should be a long one into the penalty area. Thornton is going forward without Jake Hull to go up together. Out today with a swollen foot. Referee blows his whistle and I think politely gets Scarborough to hurry along as it is thrown in. Not dealt with yet. Perver again, ball crashes into his face. Coyle recycles to Rio Allen, 25 yards out. Good marking from Paddy McLaughlin. Out now to Coyle, delivers to the back post. It's going to fly over the crossbar, and that will be the final action of the first half. So the clapping you can hear is coming from the Darlington supporters on the far side. There's 1 or 2 murmurs of clapping from Scarborough Athletic supporters around us, Darren Foreman, but I think in the latter stages of that second half you could tell that there was one team who were growing into the game better, and that was the visitors, Darlington, who are ahead thanks to Toby Lees flicking a ball in from a corner at the away end of the ground.
Yeah, as we stand, well deserved 1-0 for Darlington as it goes. drifted out of the game as the game's got further on in the half, and they've taken the ascendancy and taken the opportunity that's come their way.
Feels a little bit, we've just touched upon the fact that we may see a change of system. It's not uncommon for Jonathan Greening to do that. Dom Tier playing as a wing back on the right hand side hasn't really got involved too much, and it wouldn't be surprising to us that if he was pushed along into a right wing position.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility he might get pushed inside into the hole. Let's be honest, we miss Luca Colville when he's not playing. He's that player that opens up things, sees things differently to other players. We're missing that sort of wizardry that we have from him on a match day. So he's a big miss today, but Dom Tier can fill in that position, and he also can get forward and get goals.
Quick run through of the events of the first half then. Rio Allen had a lure shot which skimmed past the left hand post after just 5 minutes. Since then Cedric Main was the one having most of the chances. He hit a couple on target straight into Ryan Whitley's gloves. He had a header which hit the post, but in the 31st minute Toby Lee's flicking a header into the centre of the goal from this right hand side, and Scarborough haven't really been able to offer anything in response. With 9 players out, either injured, suspended or out on loan, they are looking a little bit leggy in the first 45 minutes, and they're going to have a big effort with very little to offer from the bench in terms of quantity. They have the quality with Stephen Walker and Theo Chapman, but they need to keep them spare and keep them fresh for Spennymoor, you would feel. Half time then at Queensgate, record crowd of the season as well, round about 1,400. Scarborough Athletic are behind though by 1-0.
Daytimes on BBC Radio York.
My highlight of 2025 was taking part in the 3-legged challenge for children in need.
Let's hear it for Joanita and Georgie.
Joanita Musisi.
Working muscles that I didn't even know I had.
Beck Homer.
I think my highlight has to be interviewing my comedy hero, Bob Mortimer.
Has York become just too packed? Is it one of those places that's just got too full?
Weekdays from 10.
Wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And here's to more fun and games in 2026.
Daytimes on BBC Radio York. Getting you closer to your club and every game live.
BBC Radio York Sport.
BBC Radio York Sport, Pete Spencer here in the studio. Second half commentary to come of Scarborough Athletic against Darlington. But at the break, it's Darlow who have a 1-0 lead at the break. Toby Lee's scoring again on Boxing Day against Scarborough Athletic, the centre-back, heading home from a corner. There are also 2 early kickoffs in the Championship. It's Birmingham City 0, Derby County 1. That was another 12:30 kickoff as well. But the Rams are down to 10 men after Joe Ward was sent off for a second yellow card. Kicking off at 1 o'clock, it's currently goalless between Millwall and Ipswich Town. And further down the footballing pyramid in the Northern League, it's currently Northallerton Town 1-1 away at Gisborough Town. Meanwhile, in the Northern Counties East League Premier Division, Beverley Town against Pickering Town is a 1:30 kickoff, so that's due to get underway in about 8 minutes or so. 3 o'clock kickoff, there's a North Yorkshire derby as Knaresborough Town host Tadcaster Albion. In Division 1, Harrogate Railway welcome Ilkley Town to Station View, and Selby Town are in Doncaster to play Armthorpe Welfare. We'll keep an eye on all of those games throughout the afternoon here on BBC Radio York. Let's get a quick check on the roads, where it's slow on the A64 between York and Flaxton, taking an extra 5 minutes to get through there at the moment. On public transport, very limited services operating on Boxing Day. No service on Boxing Day for Grand Central trains or LNER at King's Cross. That's affecting services across the network. A few roadworks to be aware of. There are electricity works which have closed the A19 Cemetery Road in York. That's going north from Fulford Road to Heslington Road. Staying in York, temporary lights on Station Road at the York train station. That's because of roadworks. And still in York, there is limited access to Kimberlow Lane. That's between Dreamers Lane and Lakeside Way because of roadworks. That's your travel news for North Yorkshire. Don't forget, if you see a problem out and about on the roads and it's safe and legal to do so, you can let us know about it by calling 0800 111 48 49.
BBC Radio York.
Well, there are 2 games which are going to kick off at 3 o'clock. York City are in action at the LNER Community Stadium. A record home crowd will be in attendance today to see if the Minstermen can claim an 8th successive league win when they take on Boston United today. It's a game that you'll be able to listen to on FM and BBC Sounds. Let's check in with our York City commentator, David Ward. David, a game where City come into this one with high expectations at the LNER off the back of that 4-0 thumping of Truro.
High expectations and a bit of pressure. Merry Christmas to you, Pete. I think that's fair to say, not just for York City, but for all of these teams at the top of the league, for Rochdale, for Carlisle, for Forest Green, but especially the chasing pack. Rochdale have those 2 games in hand, and so I think it's vital that the other 3 teams, if they do want to claim that one automatic promotion spot, do win games like this. I'm alongside, of course, Ian Dunn, former York City striker. Do you see it the same way as I do?
I do. I agree totally. You know, it's the time of year where usually the chasing pack, they either stick with the leaders or they drop off, and it's such an important period over Christmas. That's why managers and everyone says, you know, you've got to get through that period as well as you can, and if City can come out of it with another win this afternoon, then they go to Altrincham on Tuesday, and bearing in mind those are 2 what were classed as bogey teams, Boston and Altrincham.
Well, it's weird because the next 4 games are. York don't traditionally beat Boston apart from the playoff final.
Yeah.
They certainly don't beat Altrincham.
Yeah.
Then they play Boreham Wood away from home, which is
tough.
tricky in itself.
Yeah.
York City have played Boreham Wood 7 times. All 7 games have finished in a draw, so they've yet to beat Boreham Wood.
Yeah.
And then Sutton United. They've yet to beat Sutton United in the 5 times they've ever played them, so they've got 4 games against the 4 teams, really, that historically they don't do very well against.
Yeah, so never mind the fact that there's a lot of points available there. From a psychological point of view, City can get through those games and come away with more points than not. The confidence will be absolutely sky high.
Will the players know, though? You were a footballer. Do you realise if your football club has a poor record against certain opposition?
It'll only be some people will remind them, and it'll be a quip. The current group haven't played all them football matches where they haven't beaten these teams, so they'll be aware of Altrincham because there's a few,
Well, there's one player in the squad who used to play for Altrincham.
Well, yeah, that exactly. Yeah, maybe you'll remind them. So they might be semi-aware. I can't imagine it'll impact them too much. The thought that these could be bogey teams. It'll only become prevalent if they don't go and beat those teams, and it'll almost be like, well, they're our bogey team. But no, I think the players will go into that full of confidence like they should do, because they've been playing fantastically well. And this is a new team, a different beast, shall we say, of York City, that the opposition are going to have to come up against. It shouldn't come into it unless there's a higher person that's making these scores up.
I don't expect there to be many changes, if any changes, today for the starting 11.
No, I can't see any changes unless he tinkers with maybe the wing backs. I don't know. Joe Felix potentially. I don't see why, because Joe Gray was outstanding. I think he'll probably go with the same team and try and be as consistent as possible. They've had a good, their legs have been up.
The only change I could see him potentially making is possibly Hiram Boateng coming in. But then, who do you rest?
Well, yeah, exactly. You're looking at Batty or Hunt, who are both performing admirably. But Boateng did play the advanced role, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got one of 3 positions he could jump into. But again, I just can't see why the manager would do that after such a emphatic victory against Truro.
Yeah, interesting. And as Pete mentioned as well in that introduction, a sellout home crowd, the largest York City attendance inside the LNER Community Stadium today. It should be, after what was a pretty flat afternoon, biggest York City, the highest amount of York City fans. Ian's questioning my stats here, but because normally the away fans in the West End overflow, aren't there? So there'll be more York City fans in attendance today than there ever has been before. Wow. After the flatness of the Truro game, I imagine it'll be a bit more livelier today. Hopefully, and Christmas spirit should be live and kicking as well. And I think obviously what would help that, having said that, we scored early against Truro, and that's you like to get the early goal and get the atmosphere kicking, but that goal against Truro weirdly seemed to work in the opposite direction, because we had a really good crowd that afternoon as well, or that evening. But it did feel a little bit, but maybe also we thought this is going to be too easy. Whereas with Boston, also that all the fans know about the fact that Boston are a bit of a bogey team. That'll get them up for it, and I hope we do get that early goal and that the fans really push the team on to grab some more. Yeah, should be a cracking afternoon, Pete. Kick-off is at the usual time of 3 o'clock.
Thank you very much to David and Ian there at the LNER Community Stadium. As soon as that team news for York City drops at 2 o'clock, we'll be across to David and Ian to get the team news. James Fletcher will break off from the commentary to bring us that as well. I believe we can also cross to Salford, to the Peninsula Stadium, to get an update. Harrogate Town in action on DAB Digital Radio at 3 o'clock. Tim Steer and Paul Bolland in place for us. Afternoon. Merry Christmas, Tim Steer.
Merry Christmas, Pete. Thank you very much. You well?
Yes. How are things looking then at the Peninsula? Harrogate Town potentially with 12 players out injured today. How do we think they're looking?
Yeah, it's a real delicate situation. Again, we've been saying this for a few weeks, haven't we, with Harrogate Town in terms of injuries, but the latest concerns coming into this one were Levi Sutton, who picked up a hamstring injury in the last game against MK Dons. Connor McAleeny was also another one that Simon Weaver told us earlier on this week that he was going to be a doubt for today's game against his former club. And then Jack Muldoon, who has got this back spasm which has caused a lot of issues for him because it's seemingly come out of nowhere, and it's one of those delicate situations, as I say, where you've got to be really careful with the back spasm, because if it suddenly goes in a match, then he'll be in absolute agony. So it'll be interesting to see whether any of the three will make it for today's game, because whoever Harrogate Town had at their disposal, it was always going to be tough today against Salford City, who are obviously pushing for the playoffs. But as far as how things are looking here, it's a sunny day, it's very cold. I have a feeling that once that sun goes down, it's going to be absolutely freezing here. You might be able to hear the wind in the background as well, but they're just watering the pitch at the minute, which looks in decent nick. But in terms of what Harrogate Town players take to the field, we'll get the team news probably in about 15 minutes or so time. It's going to be a big ask, really, for Harrogate Town because of the number of players they've got out injured at the minute, Bolly.
Yeah, I completely agree, Tim. I think it's going to be another tough challenge this afternoon against a team who are pushing for promotion in and around the playoff positions. And the issue Simon Weaver has right now is he's got so few options, in terms of how can he mix it up, how can he change it. But it wasn't good enough against the MK Dons, and he'll be looking for a reaction this afternoon. Whoever takes to the pitch, whichever 11 he chooses, and we'll find that out in about 15-20 minutes. But they have to be up for the fight. They have to be ready to scrap and show more fight than what they did against the MK Dons, especially first half. Second half against MK Dons, the game was done. MK Dons were in cruise control. The game was finished. But first half, it was the errors and it was the body language which was the most concerning thing. So hopefully they can show the fight and a response this afternoon to get themselves out of what is a scrap at the bottom of League 2 now, and it's a busy schedule of games coming up. Christmas, New Year period is always busy. Hopefully some of the injured boys can start to get closer to selection, and we'll have to see what 11 he opts for this afternoon's game. But whoever takes to the pitch this afternoon, they're going to have to stick together, because Salford is another difficult game. They're going to be physical, they're usually very fit, they've got good pace in attack, and they're going to be dangerous from set pieces as well, so they're going to have to be at the very best this afternoon.
Tim, we spoke last week about psychologically Harrogate Town managing to pull themselves out of the relegation zone. Now they've dropped back into it. Does the momentum, does the confidence take a bit of a hit? Obviously only 1 point separating Harrogate and Bristol Rovers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big thing for them to be out of that bottom two, and Simon Weaver admitted it himself. Psychologically, for any group of players, you don't want to look at the table and see yourself in that relegation zone. It doesn't do anybody any good. But of course, there was still, and there is still, plenty of time for Harrogate Town to turn that around. MK Dons was, again, another one of those home matches, a really disappointing performance, and they see themselves back in that bottom two again. But I think at the minute, it must be hard for that group of players, not only seeing yourselves in the bottom two, but seeing all your teammates dropping down with injuries around you as well, because you think, right, if we get him back and him back, we can have a bit of form. But it's really hard when those players are just constantly being out injured at the minute.
It certainly is. Thank you very much to Tim Steer and Paul Bolland there at the Peninsula Stadium in Salford. Salford City against Harrogate Town is our DAB digital radio offering at 3 o'clock. Set to be a Christmas cracker as well between York City and Boston United here on Boxing Day. The players are now back out at Queensgate Stadium in Bridlington. Time for second half commentary of Scarborough Athletic against Darlington, and time to hand you back to your commentary team of Darren Foreman and James Fletcher.
Thanks, Pete. Welcome back, everybody, as Scarborough Athletic and Darlington have made their way back out onto the field. Jonathan Greening having a very last minute word with Rio Allen whilst he's got the ball on the centre circle. Also Ryan Blott as well, trying to get as much in as possible. The fine tuning at half-time. I wonder what rewards it might bring for Scarborough Athletic, who trail here by 1-0 in the Boxing Day encounter with Darlington. Toby Lees coming up with the header from a set-piece after 31 minutes to give the visitors the advantage. Quick run-through of the team for you, just ahead of the second half commencing underway. 2 changes today. Luca Colville with the ankle injury that he picked up against Peterborough means he's out today. Jake Hull not returning and Kieran Waleji suspended. So in the first half it was Whitley in goal, Duckworth, Thornton, Wadsworth as a back three with Tia and Waldron as wing backs, Coyle and Perver ahead of Allen and Green ahead of those two, and Bennett, who's on a yellow card. On the bench, Theo Chapman and Stephen Walker, peering to see if there has been any tactical tweak at half-time. It looks as though Dom Tier has gone into a more central role, as we see Green pick the ball up on this left-hand side and runs towards the centre with Coyle alongside him. Allen's come out to this right wing by the looks of things. Tier through the middle and Bennett up top. So Duckworth towards Rocco Coyle. Duckworth looks like he's now the right back as Allen receives the ball right in front of us in the main stand here at Queensgate. Duckworth clipping one towards the penalty area. Bennett leapt for it, went over his head, and Howells lets that one, runs back towards Jameson, who is Darlington's goalkeeper. They've got a back line of Max Howells, Toby Lees and Elliot Forbes, and then Scott Barrow completing the back four. Tom Platt and Paddy McLaughlin are in the centre of midfield. Charlie Lennon on one wing with Will McGowan on the other, and then Aidan Rutledge is up front alongside Cedric Main. And it's Lennon from the left wing running towards the box, tries to play a through ball which is cut out. McGowan keeps it moving, however, for Darlington. Good pressure coming from Harry Green and Jack Waldron, trying to make sure they don't give a foul away as the ball pops towards Platt. To Forbes. Forbes, the centre half, playing it up towards Cedric Main. Good out-muscling of Wadsworth. Wadsworth did get a touch. Comes now to Rutledge. Towards Lennon on the corner of the area, left-hand side. He looks to dink one to the back post. Whitley's watching it all the way. Does so, catches it calmly. He'll get them underway, but thoughts on the system change? Darren Foreman, definitely looks like a back four now as opposed to a back five.
Yeah, not quite as we called it, but Dom Tier's definitely pushed on to the forward for Darlington. It looks like Jack Waldron's going to play left back and Ducky's going to play right back. So, change of formation, not as we thought it was, but I think that will help Scarborough.
He needed to free up Dom Tier though, because he wasn't being utilised enough as a right wing back, so he's into the thick of things now as a throw in on this near far side touchline, I should say, by Waldron to Green. Moved back towards Perver carving one into the area. Bennett cuts on the 18-yard line, facing the wrong way, but he trapped it, but then couldn't push the ball back to one of his midfielders to strike. Bit of frustration from the fans around us to our right hand side as Cedric Main tries to then from the right wing cross in. He's ballooned that one horribly out of play for a throw in on this near side. 2.5 minutes into the second half, 1-0 to Darlington here.
As a centre forward there, Fletch, when he comes up to him, he's done the hard work, got it under control, then got to keep the ball moving. If your station gives the centre half an opportunity just to poke the ball past you, so you've got to keep the ball moving.
Merthyr Town lead 1-0 away at Oxford City is the other early kick-off in the National League North. We'll bring you up to date with the scores, and for those who might be joining us ahead of York City, we'll have team news for you as Cedric Main has a shot on the edge of the area which flies over the crossbar. Behind and had a bit of a dip to it, a bit of pace. Looked a little closer than maybe first anticipating. Behind for a goal kick. Shot count wise, Darlington racking up the chances much more than Scarborough Athletic are, but the system change going back to Bennett with Tia now playing as an out-and-out number 10, and wingers either side I think should benefit Bennett if they can pick him out.
Yeah, I think Scarborough just got to be aware that it's going to be far harder for us to defensively with just the two centre halves.
Coyle just moving across this right hand side, was taken out by Charlie Lennon according to the referee. That's a free kick just on the halfway line. Michael Duckworth will place it down as Rio Allen makes his way forward. A line of four emerges with Tia, Allen Bennett and Green. Thornton also going forward. Darlington occupying a high line outside the penalty area. As Duckworth now will look to hit it diagonally, just to the left of the D. It hangs in the wind a bit, comes down towards Tier. Bennett then trying to get onto the loose pickings. Swatted away by Elliot Forbes. Forbes last year had a very embarrassing own goal in this fixture when he actually passed the ball back to Jameson, who was having a drink of water in his goal and ended up conceding an equaliser. How fortune of that nature would be welcomed for Scarborough, as Allen in this right wing position looks to try and dart past his man, still tiptoeing towards the byline. Two around him though in those turquoise and black hoops. Coyle now, right wing area. He's not got a crossing angle at the moment. They're trying to work an opening. Allen now from the touchline, running in field, cleared away by Darlington, only as far as Duckworth, 40 yards in from goal. Perver then tries to lift it forwards. Harry Green has got the ball again for Scarborough. Energetic start for the Borough. Green, 25 yards out, thinks about the shot first time, then a second time, takes it on, but it's tipped over by Jameson. That was not a bad effort at all from Harry Green. Wins a corner for his side, and Jameson called upon to the best of his ability for the first time this afternoon.
Good play by Harry Green, worked himself into a good position. Decent shot. Fortunately for Scarborough, just straight at the keeper, just needed to get a hand to it to knock it over the crossbar, but much better.
And that will just give Scarborough perhaps a bit of a spark if they can continue with this early intensity of the second half. Bennett and Allen are in the 6-yard box for this corner kick, delivered in. It will head more towards the 18-yard line, not the best of deliveries. Headed out by Darlington, comes to Coyle on the volley, never got his foot around it, and that's going to run through harmlessly for Jameson, who'll pick it up in his 6-yard box. So a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, that's the problem with having no natural left footer to come over and take the corner. Perver's corner was an outswinger.
Jameson back at Darlington, having left to go to Gateshead but returning on loan in his officially his third spell with the club, as Howells, the right back, trying to move the ball forward. Broken up and now into the feet of Jack Waldron, who's trying to go for a big diagonal for Allen. This should hold on the slightly sticky and heavy surface. Allen then at the byline, right wing position, will look to now tee it back to Duckworth, gets it out of his left foot. Good touch to drill one in, looking for Green, who's arriving, but headed away by Howells. Comes out to Waldron. Waldron now delivers, looking for Bennett. Flicked on though by Tier. I think that was going to arrive on Bennett's head, but Tier went in. Offside flag went up anyway.
Yeah, decent ball in. Good bit of pressure from Scarborough. Just took the ball off of Bennett's head there, the centre half. But good defending. But as it happened, he was offside anyway.
Looks as though Elliot Forbes just has a mini issue, I think, with his boot more than anything. Looks like the end of his boot's actually come off, and it's flapping about at the moment. You don't see that very often, but he's got a problem and he needs new boots.
His slippers are broken by the looks of it. He needs a new pair of slippers on.
Well, wouldn't it be a treat if it was Christmas Day yesterday and he'd asked for some?
Yeah, Father Christmas got me some new boots.
Or there is new ones and he's ruined them after one day.
Oh, that'll go down. I'll take them back.
Has he kept the receipt? Barrow in towards Bennett. Cleared away, however, by Forbes, who's carrying on, but he's having to kick everything on the left foot. I can see the tongue of the boot is ripped on top, and he's trying to communicate to the bench that he needs a new pair, but they aren't really in too much of a rush to get on with it here.
He can't go down as a he'll have to go off, won't he, unfortunately. So
well, it looks the physio has got the kit bag ready. I think there's a bit of miscommunication. I think he's suggesting that Forbes might be injured, but it looks from here like his boot's broken.
Looks like his boot's cream cracker to me.
Ball's out of play for a throw-in on this near side. Referee just signals for a throw-in. And still Forbes having to carry on at the moment, quite committed. I mean, he's not flustered by it, but here's Bennett. He might be flustered now though, because Tier's on the move and Forbes has got to mark him. Low ball into the box, looking for Rio Allen, returns it to Tier, who recollects, tries to knock it back into the 6-yard box, and diving down on it is Pete Jameson. Maybe just there, one pass in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see Dom Tier just take the centre half on there, but better.
Approaching 10 minutes into the second half here at Queensgate. It is 1-0 to the visitors Darlington, but Scarborough have started positively, looking to get a bit more of a foothold in the game. It was Toby Lees in the 31st minute supplying the goal that's made the difference so far, as Waldron plays towards Harry Green. Ball run out to room on the far side. Howells, however, knocks it out of play for a throw-in up towards the final third. Harry Green will move the ball back to Wadsworth. Wadsworth now just a bit of a hit and hope really through the air. It was a side foot ball forward and it just had height and no real direction, so Darlington can clear away. Cedric Main drops it off to Howells. Howells down the right hand side with a bit of pace, delivers across to the back post. It should fly over, it does crash into the roof of the net. No harm done for Scarborough there. 10 minutes into the second half, Darlington lead 1-0.
Yeah, Howells has got through forward quite a few times first half, and second half caused us problems right side coming from the right wing back position, but we definitely started this half much better, and Scarborough needs to stay on the front foot.
We're going to Harrogate Town in just a moment. Team news is in for the League 2 fixture against Salford, as we just see the goal kick taken. Rocco Coyle brings the ball down. Rutledge there for Darlington as they've won possession back. A through ball attempted. Thornton. And Darlington trying to work the ball over to the right wing for Howells. It's going to go out for a throw-in, I think, on the far side in front of Jonathan Greening's technical area. Scarborough's way. Team news is in. Over in the northwest, Salford are taking on Harrogate Town today in League 2. Over there for us with the team news is Tim Steer.
3 changes for Harrogate Town this afternoon. Tom Bradbury and Kyle Jameson both get starts as 3 centre-backs for Harrogate Town this afternoon, and Tom Curzon starts up front. Captain Warren Burrell dropped down to the bench. Levi Sutton is out injured, and Sean Mikulski also amongst the substitutes. So it's going to be James Belshaw in goal, 3 centre-backs of Tom Bradbury, Anthony O'Connor and Kyle Jameson, Zico Asare and Jacob Slater as the wing-backs, Jack Evans the captain and Ben Fox in the midfield, with Conor McAleany and Reece Smith playing just behind of Tom Curzon's. Only 6 substitutes for Harrogate Town today: Oxley, Burrell, Mikulski, Etherington, Barnes and Falkingham, as Harrogate Town's injury list reaches 11 players for today's game.
Thank you very much, Tim. Darlington into the area at the far end of the ground. A cross supplied in, and Whitley has it in 2 hands. I'm sure Scarborough wouldn't mind borrowing a couple of those Harrogate substitutes today if they want to do an even split of 4 and 4. I don't think Simon Weaver would oblige, but 1-0 at the moment. I can see Michael Ingham and Jonathan Greening getting some instructions out.
Only 6 substitutes. Scarborough only as if Scarborough had that, unfortunately.
They're doing it tough today as Lennon has the ball on halfway. He's going to dart in field away from Rio Allen. He's got Main for company, but Allen wants to try and track back Charlie Lennon. Broken up, however, that time by Michael Duckworth. Commentary, by the way, of Salford versus Harrogate will be at 3 o'clock on DAB. Build up as well as York City will commence at the conclusion of Scarborough Athletic against Darlington here on FM. Across all frequencies, we'll have York City against Boston United, apart from, of course, DAB. It'll be on FM and via BBC Sounds. In the left wing area, Paddy McLaughlin. Late tackle, I think, coming in there for Darlington.
Yeah, Rocco Cole left his foot in there, I think. We just need to keep the tempo. We don't want to lose the ascendancy. We've been in the ascendancy this half, but they've just come into it last 5 minutes. We just need to keep that tempo.
Forbes has got his boot. That's the big news. He had to soldier on there, and eventually, I think he's actually not even got a new boot. I think they've just chucked him some tape. I mean, at the elite levels, how many pairs of boots do you see coming off the team bus, and pairs of gloves for the goalkeepers?
I would suspect that each player takes another pair of boots onto the bench, and that's behind the bench.
Free kick for Darlington in more serious matters. Just inside the Scarborough half, a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. Lennon delivers. It should be a simple one for Ryan Whitley. Watches it run all the way across his goal frame, and now looks to boom the ball away. And Rio Allen, out of nowhere, has got a yard of space here to charge forward in a Route 1 style. Allen collects, edge of the area right side, delivers in. A diving header by Tom Platt, who was coming back into the centre of defence. It's Charlie Lennon now running forward and trying to get away from Rio Allen. He tries to play a ball over the top. Thornton knocks it out of play for a throw-in when he could have potentially passed it back towards Ryan Whitley. Darlington will get up the pitch with a direct approach.
Yeah, good clearance. Goal kick out from Ryan Whitley. Rio Allen just trying to work a position there. Unfortunately unlucky. I like the look of Charlie Lennon, for Darlington. Looks a decent player.
Yeah, Charlie Lennon on loan from Middlesbrough. It's his first professional season as a senior player, that is, coming out of Borough's under-21s academy, and played as well alongside Howells in North Riding Senior Cup final back in the late spring. As the throw-in for Darlington comes in, header won by Thornton. Back out of the area on this near side touchline, Paddy McLaughlin will look to arc across, checks once or twice, then gives it to Will McGowan. He delivers into the box. Whitley comes for it, clutches it into his chest and spots the run of Waldron. So can Scarborough launch a counter-attack? Green hugs the touchline on the left. He's the only passing option. Waldron gets lucky because he tried to play it through to him and it was intercepted by Lees. And then the second time as well, Waldron can't push the ball through either, which is met to the displeasure of the Scarborough fans to our right hand side as Darlington now come the other way. Will McGowan playing to Main, offside flag's gone up, even though Main crashes the ball into the back of the net. Didn't see the flag go up, but it needed to be better quality from Jack Waldron with the through ball.
Very on Jack Waldron, he's good on the ball, isn't he? But I think initially he was looking to pass on Harry Green and run offside. Harry Green had to check his run, which then changed Jack Waldron's mind, I think, and it got stuck between two stalls. Not the best of passes forward.
An hour played, Scarborough 0, Darlington 1. I'm getting the feeling with the scoreline at 1-0 though, Darren, that if Scarborough were to find an equaliser, I feel they've got more gears to travel and they'll get a real heap of confidence from just getting back level. Darlington are trying to maybe just carve out a couple of chances as well, but they haven't looked anywhere near as on top as they did in the latter stages of the first half. As Duckworth plays forward looking for Rio Allen, can't bring the ball in on this right wing as Lennon plays forward. Perver however intercepts. It's a Duckworth again. And now a through ball by Thornton looking for Rio Allen, and Allen just peering down, looks to be struggling here. He's trying to run through the pain barrier, but I'll wait for Jameson to pick the ball up. I'm looking to see if Rio Allen is just starting to fatigue.
Moving gingerly. I think he'd be okay. I think it was just a knock, but just need to take care of a pass, and the passing's not been good enough last 5 minutes.
Let's hope so. I'm just having a look at Rio Allen though. He is clutching that hamstring, Darren.
Yeah.
This is not good. Howells, he's got the ball in the penalty area right hand side and he looks to carve out a cross. Main went for it, Duckworth heads it down. Allen is still soldiering on here. We've got to keep a real close eye on him as Scott Barrow now comes forward, 25 yards from goal. Plays to Will McGowan. McGowan out wide now to Howells as Darlington are patient in their build-up. They are up parallel with the penalty area. They try to deliver in. Waldron gets a necessary block. Perver lifts it over his head. Well ducked by Tier as Platt tried to take charge in midfield for Darlington. Won back though by the visitors. McLaughlin combines with McGowan. McGowan 30 yards from goal, right hand side. Works the ball to Howells. Back to McLaughlin. Darlington trying to coax Scarborough out in their red shirts at the moment, but those in blue lead at the moment. In this little phase are just trying to keep Scarborough on their toes. Howells, low ball played in, it's stuck at Rutledge's feet, and the ball prized away by the Scarborough defence, runs back towards Ryan Whitley, and the players on the pitch thought it was a back pass, but that would have been an incredibly harsh
tackle for me. Yep.
Allen is not clutching his leg anymore. Hopefully it was just a whack. He's going to get on the ball now. Could see him grimacing as he runs towards the ball. Allen, right wing position, tries to dart past Charlie Lennon, beg your pardon. Charlie Lennon, however, wins the battle and plays it back towards Scott Barrow, who can bring calm and assurance for the visitors. His long ball away, however, is headed by Perver. Allen tiptoeing towards the box. Through ball for Tier. An opening for Scarborough. Delivered into the box. It runs behind Green. Green regathers, however, edge of the area on the left-hand side. just momentarily loses control, but feeds it to Waldron, into Perver as the ball is bobbling up and down on this bumpy surface at Bridlington. Green, left wing area, goes back towards Waldron, and Waldron trying to play it through. There was no runner. Rio Allen had a look at it as Darlington are looking to come the other way. Cedric Main is offside. Now, good news, Stephen Walker stripped ready to come on. But look at Rio Allen, Darren.
Yeah,
he's struggling.
Yeah, definitely struggling.
And his number is up on the board.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling. I think he's got the signal over to the board. Like you say, he did feel as if he was clutching his hamstring.
Well, saw it down here. He's making his way off. He's going to get the appreciation of the Borough faithful. But let's hope this is precautionary. But when you clutch the back of your leg, it's normally not a good sign. Thankfully, he's made his own way off. And Stephen Walker is back in a red shirt on the Queensgate pitch. He's not played in 6 matches, but 9 goals in 14 games. How quickly can he get back up to speed for Scarborough Athletic? How they need him, with them being 1-0 down at the moment, Darren Foreman.
Yeah, it's been a big miss, without a shadow of doubt. He's been in great form this season, especially in front of goal. You know, it just depends on how fit he actually is, whether he's running at 90-95%. But he'll bring a different dimension towards Scarborough.
He can play as a winger. He did that for Whitby. That's why he's gone to the left-hand side. Bennett stays in the middle, and Harry Green has now come over to this right-hand side as Darlington have a throw-in down the near side touchline on halfway. A couple of exchanges of possession. Barrow trying to play forward. Good flick from Bennett. And now then Green trying to get Walker in behind straight away. Good defensive pressure from Darlington as Howells then comes in. Perver nearly takes it off his feet, but Howells brave and sturdy despite not being the most physical of players. And I have to say his second half performance is really showing through now as Cedric Main has the ball, edge of the area on the right, trying to cut away now from Wadsworth. It's not dealt with as he tried to play the ball to the front post. Whitley knocked it into danger. Darlington in the area, lots of traffic. Perver not diving in, but Darlington are so close here to carving out an opening. They've been forced back out of the box, however, towards McLaughlin. Midpoint of the second half, 1-0 Darlington. Ball now delivered in, looking for Cedric Main. Wadsworth gets a touch. Ball spirals up into the air, and Howells takes a swipe. Deflected behind, corner kick. Scarborough couldn't get the ball away there. Darlington were toying with them and waiting to hit the button at the right time. They've got a set piece.
Yeah, luckily for Scarborough, the wide player, they just decided he was going to have about 65 touches and didn't want to cross the ball. But if he'd have got the ball in early enough, he worked a position 3 or 4 times and didn't get the ball in the box, thankfully.
Rio Allen is getting some physio treatment on the bench. He's got his right leg stretched out. So Walker on through necessity.
Yeah, I'm sure Jonathan Green wouldn't have wanted to give him this long, but you know, needs must sometimes.
Corner kick. Walker's a smart lad. He'll know to look after himself on the field as the ball is delivered from Darlington. Flicked, but just wide on that occasion. It stayed in play as well as Bennett, who's come back, is able to scamper across and clear away. Paddy McLaughlin will try and rebuild for Darlington. He's danced past Perver, and McLaughlin's still going. He's into the area here. He's ridden out a challenge, takes a shot on, but kicks it into the ground. And that's going to be easy for Ryan Whitley, but one of the sitting midfielders of Darlington was able to wander into the penalty area.
Too easy. You know, he drifted, he went 40-50 yards, far too easy.
Rocco Coyle, he's got the ball right out on this near side touchline on the halfway line. Duckworth, he's looking for a through ball in behind. Tier just lets the ball bump into Tom Platt. Throw in. Scarborough still in the game, but are making hard work of it to try and get back level. There's Duckworth, has the ball in his hands. A former York City partnership on this near side of Duckworth and Barrow and McLaughlin as well in the frame. There's Perver will kick the ball back towards Waldron in the centre circle, and it goes all the way back to Whitley. Former Borough man Aidan Rutledge pressurises. Whitley's clearance away into Rocco Coyle.
Coyle on halfway. Perver immediately moving to Duckworth. Then Coyle on halfway again, lifting it inverted to the right. Tier took a good touch, but there's a man in the way in Scott Barrow. Darlington haven't made any changes yet. Scarborough have made one of the two that they can call upon. Scarborough will get the throw in. Harry Green was pleading with the linesman on this near side. It's thrown towards the byline for Richie Bennett. Bennett into Harry Green. Coyle, he's got the ball on this right wing side. In towards Harry Green. Turns 35 yards from goal. Goes back now to Wadsworth. Wadsworth screens it over now towards Jack Waldron. Walker has kept it in, but it's a heavy kick back to Waldron.
Wasn't the best ball, but Jack Waldron made him a bit to do. But
Waldron now clipping the ball diagonally towards Duckworth. Heads it smartly infield to Green. He's pushed it back to Coyle, lifting it forward, looking for Dom Tier. Ball lands with Harry Green to Duckworth. Right wing, carves out a cross. Not the best one, but Darlington struggled to get it away. Coyle caught by McLaughlin, but he got the ball up cleanly. Green now, 20 yards from goal. Pushes a through ball to Walker. Walker trying to twist on the left-hand side. Ball comes free to Green. He's got 4 around him in blue and black. Green dribbling the ball out of the penalty area and wins a corner.
Yeah, better. Good play by Scarborough. Get the pressure up. Wasn't a bad balling by Duckworth, but nowhere on the end of it, unfortunately.
20 minutes of normal time to go. Scarborough with a set-piece opportunity. Bennett's forward, so to his tier. Green, Walker, they're all in there. As the ball comes in, it was a throw-in rather than a corner, I beg your pardon. As Duckworth and Coyle look to combine. On this near side, good touch from Duckworth and a neat turn away. Back to Coyle, who delivers low into the box. Howells lifts the ball skywards. Not the best header by Rutledge. McLaughlin chests it on, looking for Cedric Main, who's alone in blue and black, but he's kept it in play. Thornton comes across to take charge. As the ball now goes forward. Headed away, however, by Toby Lees. McLaughlin on halfway. Darlington on the move. We're going to go to York in a minute for team news, but Rutledge is in the area for Darlington. He's drifted over to the left-hand side. Thornton comes in with a tackle. And Darlington in the area with Charlie Lennon. He's got away too easy, tries to fizz the ball across, and this is going to be helped out and towards Richie Bennett, who plays it up towards Walker. Scarborough trying to launch a counter-attack. Walker there forced back towards his own penalty area. So we'll go to the LNER Community Stadium. York City face Boston United. With the team news there is David Ward.
Yeah, thank you. Just one change. Ollie Banks comes into the starting 11 in place of Greg Ollie. It is the same matchday squad that beat Truro by 4-0 at the weekend. So that's Mailing goal. Back three of Kitchen, Howe and Fagan Walcott. The wing backs are Newby and Gray. In the centre of the park are Dan Batty and Alex Hunt. And then it will be off the right-hand side, it will be Ollie Banks. Off the left-hand side, it will be Ollie Pearce and Josh Stones through the centre.
Thank you very much, David. Full commentary to come on FM and via BBC Sounds, and build up to both York City and Harrogate Town's matches, which kick off at 3 o'clock. Follows our conclusion here at Queensgate. Scarborough versus Darlington, which after 72.5 minutes is 1-0 to the visitors. But a free kick for Scarborough in a dangerous position. Middle of the Darlington half. Green was clipped, and Duckworth now gets his first arm raised, delivers into the penalty area, and very anticlimactic, a push and a shove. I think Will Thornton was spotted to maybe just pushed across his man, and that is going to be a free kick the way of Darlington.
Yeah, a bit of an anticlimactic play, Fletch. Don't give a silly free kick away really, but good bit of play initially from Harry Green. Took a few players on, got us a free kick. Better.
Could be in trouble if the ball comes down the right-hand side. There's a bit of congestion to our right-hand side. The fans on the terrace are obviously getting excited for the conclusion. They've progressively moved their way up towards this end of the ground. It's visibility is becoming an issue. Last year it was because of the fog. This year it's because of the fans. But normally we've been complaining about a lack of number of fans that have been coming in, but it's good to see that the fans have turned out in decent number today. Around about 1,400 here at Bridlington. Not a bad effort considering there's no public transport. Green moving the ball in from the right wing, trying to slide it through. McLaughlin will clear away. He's had a decent afternoon in the centre of midfield. His experience starting to shine through as Duckworth goes to Green and Waldron combining. Walker has it left wing position. He's going to now try and come in. Theo Chapman has come on during that free kick situation, but we didn't hear the tannoy go, so apologies for that. Into the area, looking for Harry Green. That'll be cleared away. Looks as though Richie Bennett has made his way off.
Richie Bennett's gone off. Harry Green with an air shot there.
Coyle, right midfield, trying to get away from Charlie Lennon. In behind the crowd he goes. Ball's out on this. Thought he'd gone out on the byline for a moment, but it's covered by Charlie Lennon, who clears the ball away. Darlington have been very good on their left-hand side to lock off any opportunities to play little 1-2 passes.
Different thing now, though, because we've got Harry Green over this side, causing problems. But yeah, Theo Chapman's come out on the left-hand side. Steve Walker's just gone down the middle.
Throwing for Darlington as we are approaching the final 15 minutes. Reminder for Scarborough Athletic fans listening in on BBC Radio York that our post-match thoughts with Jonathan Greening and players will be available on BBC Sounds. Just search for Scarborough Athletic. So everything in terms of substitutes has been assessed and conducted by Jonathan Greening. They can't do much more. It's all to the players in red out there now in the final 15 minutes or so. Theo Chapman, left wing, trying to be a new option for Howells to defend, but I have to say the Middlesbrough learning has been a very, very good defensive aspect of Darlington this afternoon.
Yeah. The two wide players, Lennon and Howells, look good for Darlington. I don't seem to remember much of them in the game at Middlesbrough, but they looked good players.
Duckworth receives a crossfield ball which goes into his own half, having moved it from Steve Watson's technical area over on the far side up towards Walker. Has chested it to Rocco Coyle, and Coyle then to the edge of the area on the right. Walker trying to play it back to Green, and the ball just darted up in the air despite trying to play it along the ground. Green crowded out by 3. Main, he's going to try and get around Wadsworth. Wadsworth slides in, used his body well, diverted him wider, and now Waldron coming forward. I think Scarborough, if they get an equaliser here, they're going to have all the confidence and momentum, but Darlington are making this a real challenge as Chapman darts past Howells, tries to cross in, blocked by the first defender. Waldron goes to Perver over on that far side. Waldron back then to Wadsworth as there's no room down the left. So Scarborough look like they're going to try and switch it out from left to right as Thornton points, summons Duckworth to drop back a little bit. With the ball on halfway, Coyle and Duckworth combined with a couple of small passes. Goes back now towards Whitley. Green, Walker, Chapman and Tier. 4-2-4 by the looks of things now. All or nothing approach. As the ball is now played up towards Dom Tier, but Pete Jameson in the box. Off his line quickly and clutches the ball into his chest. Darlington are going to make a sub in a moment. They're going to freshen things up from the bench. They've taken their time to make a decision, but then again there hasn't really been any weak spots in the 11 on the pitch today for the visitors.
I think they look as if they've run out of steam, so we can just keep the tempo up.
Coyle pushes one down the right hand channel, coming across his goal scorer Toby Lees. Throw in there for Scarborough. They wanted to get on with it, Duckworth, but we're going to see the substitution first. And making his way off is going to be Aidan Routledge, and he will walk off. Gets the applause of the Darlington fans as the supporters to our right hand side. I mean, some of what we've done today is broadcastable, isn't it, from a fan's point of view? But Routledge making his way off. I think Main has been the more important of the front two.
Yeah, Routledge has dropped in the hole in behind. Been difficult to mark, but Main's been the one who's played off the last man off the shoulder.
Tom Allen comes on to replace him, wearing number 11, former Newcastle youngster who's really boxed off all the North East clubs you can think of: Gateshead, Spennymoor and South Shields. He can play as a winger or as a striker, and he's come back to fitness after a month out through injury. Green now trying to move the ball forward for Scarborough. It's broken up, and the substitute Allen in his shiny turquoise and black hooped kit, unlike the mud splattered ones of those around him. Ball is played forward now. Will Thornton, ball hit his hand, but it was ball to hand, so the referee lets it go. Perver trying to dive in on his own and can't do it all himself because McLaughlin was around him, so too was Will McGowan. McGowan now forward, through ball to Howells, right side of the box, tries to twist back in field, tries to cross in. Coyle is there to mop up before Main can get something on it. But we're reaching that crunch point now where if Darlington score again you would think it's game over, but Scarborough not giving up the fight as Coyle tries to clear away, but he's run out of room on this near side touchline. It'll be a throw-in in the final third for the visitors.
Yeah, do well there, Jack Waldron, because I thought Howells had just got the edge on him there, just managed to just get a toe on the end of it. You know, like you said, we can't afford to concede now.
No Luca Colville today for Scarborough Athletic, no Jay Hull either. From a set-piece point of view, either delivery or being in the thick of it, is Darlington. Will take the throw-in. I think there might be another change coming up possibly for Darlington in a moment. Keep an eye on that as a throw-in over on this near side.
We've got the wrong shaped ball on the pitch. We've got a rugby ball on our pitch.
Didn't spot that. Yeah, Bridlington's rugby union team are having their Boxing Day match as well over on the far side, and the ball had been punted over. So brief stoppage as Green receives a throw-in off Duckworth. Wadsworth plays now to Waldron. Theo Chapman on this left-hand side. Still think we should have more minutes from Theo Chapman. I think what he's done in recent weeks has been pleasing as he tries to round a couple of defenders, runs out of room, appeals for a free kick, not listened to, and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah.
Final 10 minutes of the game, Darren Ford.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Let's have a look more at him. You know, I think he has come on a couple of times and looked decent, and just needs some more time, I think. But he's only young. We definitely need to just push forward a wee bit and just try and get the pressure on if we possibly can.
Yeah, brought in on a permanent basis as well after his release from Barnsley. Still 1-0 by the way in our other National League North game. Oxford City playing Merthyr today. Second half just getting underway in Oxfordshire. There's not the best goal kick from Pete Jameson, but it's done the trick. A couple of flick-ons, including the flick on is Stephen Walker the other way, as Scarborough trying to be a little bit more direct. One or two of the Scarborough fans are making their way down towards the town bar end already, maybe anticipating an earlier exit. It's still very much in the game. I wouldn't be leaving just yet, as Waldron plays the ball into Wadsworth, who's the right-sided, or left-sided from my vantage point, centre-back, into Green. Rocco Coyle trying to make a run down the touchline for him, but Green trying to twist and turn, and Charlie and again watching him all the way, both former Borough Academy players. There's Coyle, has the ball in his hands as well, and Duckworth now being told to take it as Green peels away from his nearest marker, but Platt is going to try and pressurise. He's gone to this near side touchline, Green, when he could have looked in field. Allen collects now, goes back towards Barrow, blocked by Rocco Coyle. 7 minutes or so to go. Yeah,
Harry Green just went into the congested area there. Just could have taken it out towards Jack Waldron and kept the ball moving. Instead, trying to come back on it and just got into a more congested area there.
Scott Barrow with the ball in his hand, and he throws it down the line over Duckworth's head. Cedric Main holding on to it, back in the team today after missing out against Kings Lynn. Throwing goes Darlington's way. I think their game management has been very good. They've been very sturdy at the back. A proper gritty away day defensive display so far.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The first 10-15 minutes of each half, Scarborough being the intensity, but they've had control of the game for large periods of both the second parts of both halves.
Ball's back in play, edge of the area on the left hand side. Duckworth lets the ball run out, and Darlington will get another set piece opportunity. Scarborough's temporary home of Queensgate isn't being very favourable for them over the winter months at the moment. As things stand, it will be winless in 5 at Queensgate, as we see the next set piece for Darlington, which is going to be Swung in, and Whitley gets his hands underneath it. Now can Walker get high up the pitch? Whitley is trying to get this ball away, but a free kick has actually been given as well. There's a bit of pushing and shoving in the middle. Whitley places it down, booms it away. Header won by McLaughlin. McGowan spooning one up into the air, headed on by Forbes. Wadsworth can't get fully underneath it with his header in the centre circle. Duckworth, he's had it taken off him by McLaughlin. Lennon's got a bit of space now down the left-hand wing, and Lennon is going to dart past Duckworth. He's going to try and get into the box as well, but then runs out of room. Ball gets tangled in his feet.
Yeah, good, stuck to it. Duckworth, he didn't, Michael Duckworth did.
Yeah, it was.
Clawed himself in glory, but then worked himself back well. I've been impressed with Lennon, but he looks as if he's running on tired legs at the moment.
Yeah, Steve Watson pretty reluctant by the looks of things to change too much for Darlington, even in the latter stages. The adrenaline now running through those out there. Perver collects in the midfield and plays to Green. Green, left wing position, trying to run inside. 3 or 4 around him. Ball's popped to Walker. Walker trying to now create the space to shoot. He's pushed it back to Rocco Coyle. Coyle looks for Waldron in the right midfield area. Waldron to deliver. Tier the only one making a run in. A simple header away for Darlington. Duckworth finds Perver. A lot of huff and puff from Scarborough in this second half without real many serious indentations. Here's Theo Chapman though, down the left wing, darts away from Howes, tries to check back inside. I think he needed to cross in rather than trying to beat the second man. Darlington clear, and are now maybe just for the first time showing that they're dropping away here and allowing Scarborough a little bit more freedom in the midfield area, as Coyle has managed to charge down a clearance away. So an attack out of nothing. Coyle, he's got 3 around him though, in blue and black. Lost sight of the ball with the terrace next to us on this right hand side, but Darlington have now won it back, and they've played a long ball away which Wadsworth watches out of the air. Thornton collects in the centre circle. Sliding back though is Cedric Main. Good work from the striker to go and win the ball back. McLaughlin, suddenly there's a break on here for Darlington. Lennon clean through. This could be the moment that seals it. Lennon shoots, and wide of the target. Wide of the far post. He should have really struck and made Whitley work at least. Yeah. Big let off for Scarborough. 4 minutes to play, 1-0.
Never looked comfortable. He started to run away from him, didn't make the angle good, better for himself. Yeah, just we were caught going forward there, which is going to happen at this time in the game.
Yeah, if they lost 2-0 now, very understandable as to why, but they are pushing forward for an equaliser, and Tia plays to Harry Green with Walker alongside him 18 yards from goal. Howells is forced to clear the ball. He's managed to pick out the floodlight to stop it going onto the rugby pitch. Throwing in the final third then, and they can throw a few players forward here in red. Scarborough, what have we got? 3 minutes of normal time. Darlington lead 1-0 at the moment. They're trying to create an inroad. Waldron, he's the Alex Brown long throwing specialist this afternoon, trying to pick out Thornton, headed away by Darlington. Back out to Waldron to try and deliver a decent looking delivery, flicked by Green. Jameson not called upon though because Platt's there in the way, and Darlington will clear, and Cedric Main has darted past Wadsworth. Duckworth trying to find all the pace in his legs to get back goal side. Main slows his run down, tries to dart past him, and then Wadsworth is back as well, but Main has done really well to kick it against the defender and win his side a corner.
Yeah, he's worked hard today, Main. He's worked the line, gave him his side a great opportunity to get up the pitch here, and they've got a corner from it.
2.5 minutes of normal time to go, plus whatever stoppage time we will have. As things stand, Darlington will be above Scarborough and move into 6th place. Scarborough will stay in the top 7 for now, but of course there's kick-offs galore later. Spennymoor at South Shields today, who sit top of the National League North, and then the meeting on the 30th of December, which we will bring you here on BBC Radio York, the 7:45 kick-off on Tuesday the 30th. Darlington, corner kick, a chance maybe to put enough distance between the two sides. Low delivery and swatted by Duckworth. Comes back out, however, towards Will McGowan. McGowan, the midfielder, down the right, plays the ball in. It's the other 24 in Wadsworth who gets the ball away. Perver, his header, will only fall its way towards Charlie Lennon, who tries to play it through to Main. Heavy touch, comes to Whitley, booms it away. He's not letting the back four get set. It is a route one, and Green nearly was in on goal, but it's well covered by Tom Platt, who's acting now as a centre-back in the back five for Darlington. Walker wins a throw-in. He'll play to Coyle to try and get away from Allen on this heavy pitch. It'll feel even heavier. It'll feel like treacle, given the circumstances they find themselves in. Waldron, he's going to lift it in from deep, looking for Walker. It's over his head. Jameson spilt it, dives then on it, and that will just allow Darlington to get back out the pitch. In the final minute of the 90, it's still 1-0. Looking over to see that board, there's only going to be 2 minutes of added time.
2 minutes? But 3 substitutions.
Well, 2 seems very, very strict indeed. I mean, I would have been expecting 4 minutes, to be honest. Duckworth trying to play one forward to Harry Green. I don't think Scarborough's players are going to like it, and the fans are going to like it when that board goes up. As we are into the final 2 minutes of the match then. The board goes up. It may become more there depending on how the game management goes, and if Darlington make another change to try and run that 2 minutes down, as Duckworth will play forward looking for Walker, tries to flick it round the door, and Harry Green, he's running on empty now, isn't he? He didn't want to go for it. Barrow, left back, clears the ball away as Wadsworth heads it. Coyle, they may get one last attack, I imagine, Scarborough Athletic. McLaughlin down this left hand side. Charlie Lennon, he's got a bit of running in him. Into the penalty area he goes, Duckworth going with him. Left hand side, Lennon with a shot through traffic. It's skittled all the way through without touching anybody, and that will be a goal kick.
Yeah, I'd like to say we're going to get another opportunity, but the ball's way back in with Ryan Whitley, and we're just going to need to get the ball forward. Will Thornton stayed forward by the looks of it.
Yeah, acting as a striker as he tries to head the ball on at halfway. Platt manages to win the battle though in midfield and pushes it through. Wadsworth, difficult one to judge. He's using all his body, but he can't get onto it, and Platt has now gone forward. He might get a chance to shoot. Wadsworth, the lone defender though, is able to cover, and he plays it to Perver. The midfield completely separated, so Scarborough might just get the chance to come forward here. Perver to Duckworth, middle of his own half for Scarborough. He goes direct, looking now for Thornton. It's going to run through, however. It's going to be covered by Barrow, and that might be the final chance that Scarborough get. The Darlington fans on the far side making all the noise now.
Yeah, unfortunately went between the two stools there. Michael Duckworth. Wasn't a ball to Will Thornton, it wasn't a ball to Harry Green. It went in between all the way through. They're going to use as much time up as they possibly can.
Yeah, the referee will be looking at his watch, seeing how long Jameson takes to clear this. They have to win the battle in the air from this goal kick. Thornton staying forward with Walker, Green, Chapman. Wadsworth all alone now as they do whatever they can. They will get a throw in. They won't. That's the full-time whistle. So Darlington win the latest chapter of the Boxing Day clash between these two sides in the National League North. They had plenty of determination defensively. Their job was done in the first half when Toby Lees headed home after 31 minutes, but their defensive guile and determination as well meant that Scarborough just didn't find many attacking openings whatsoever. Harry Green forced a great save from Jameson on the hour mark from 20 yards out. Little else to write home about for Scarborough Athletic, who are now winless in 5 at Queensgate. And today Darren Foreman go down to defeat. It's finished 1-0.
Yeah, I thought Darlington were the better of the two sides. They controlled the game for big parts of it, and they created the best chances. We just lacked a little bit of quality in the final third, and that was our undoing. But congratulations to Darlington. I thought they were the better side today.
They made changes that they could. Chapman and Walker were the only two. Did it feel like today? Of course they're missing players, but could you tell they were missing players such as Luca Colville, Lewis Maloney to try and dictate the midfield better than what they could today?
Yeah, if I'm honest, I thought we looked a little bit disjointed for the whole of the game. I think Jonathan Green done the best thing at half time by changing it up a little bit, changing the formation. But I just thought we just lacked a bit in that final third today. We weren't quite on it, and some days that happens. But I think we lack of options was telling at times.
Dom Tier just shaking hands with the referee as the Darlington players stay on the pitch. The Scarborough players making their way around the ground, clapping those who've remained. Around 1,400 here this afternoon. Jonathan Greening applauds the main terrace where we are. Scarborough will be 7th in the table, might drop out of the playoff places, but have to keep that in mind, Darren Foreman, that all the work they've done so far in the first half of the season. Spennymoor comes around quickly, then Southport away. 2 very big games to get to the halfway point of the season. The 1 game shy of exactly halfway. 35 points so far. I think this afternoon, on a different day, if they'd had more players fit, could have been a completely different story, but that's of course all hypothetical.
Yeah, for sure. We're not quite sure aware of what the situation is with the players that have gone out alone, but at the moment I understand that they need game time, that they can go out, the young players, but at the moment we need players in our ranks. So I don't know whether they sign as dual registrations, but in my eyes Scarborough should still have the first dibs on all of them. I'm not saying it would have made a massive difference, but it would have given us a full bench and given us an opportunity to change it up a little bit more, but like we said earlier, I just think today Darlington just edged it. They were the better of the two sides.
Yeah, Leon Gibson-Booth is likely to come back and will probably be in some form of contention to play against Spennymoor from a defensive point of view. Good to see Stephen Walker back out on the pitch today. Didn't have too much involvement, nothing really to write home about in the half an hour that he got, but he looks like he's come through it unscathed. But the big injury issue, which we'll get from Jonathan Greening, Darren Foreman, before we hand back to Pete Spencer in the studio in York, Rio Allen limping off with a hamstring injury, that could be massive.
Yeah, it looks as if he's got a hamstring. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and it's just he felt a little pull, and hopefully it's not, maybe just a knock. Alex Brown, I thought when I spoke to him before the game, thought that his was just a knock in the Bedford game, and it turned out to be something else. So hopefully there's nothing too serious, and he won't add to the injury list that we've got already.
Well, thanks to Darren Foreman for his analysis this afternoon. We'll get the thoughts of Jonathan Greening, and it'll be available via BBC Sounds, and we'll try and get you a couple of players as well. Just search for Scarborough Athletic, but also of course we have the full verdict show later between 5 and 6. Send us your reactions to today's defeat. It's 81333 on the text, 08000 321 333 via WhatsApp. Start your message with the word York. They end their home campaign of 2025 with defeat, Scarborough Athletic. They won more than last year at this point, 7 wins in total, but a third defeat today. Darlington have got the better of them again on Boxing Day. We wish you all a happy festive time from here in Queensgate, but it's now over to York and Harrogate. Final score in the sunshine in East Yorkshire. It's finished. Scarborough Athletic 0, Darlington 1.
Hi, this is Ollie Murs. Join me on Monday the 29th of December. I'll be meeting some of the amazing finalists from this year's BBC Make a Difference Awards.
Oh, I do love my family. Even like the award, I thought, I can't believe it. No one's going to believe it.
They'll be so proud. There'll be one big party in your house.
I'm just really, really grateful. I can't believe I'm meeting Ollie Murs.
This is the Christmas present that you always dreamt of. Really are. It's the real Ollie Murs.
Sabrina, honestly, what an amazing woman you are. The fact that you volunteer for all these amazing things and you help so many people.
Make a Difference heroes meet Ollie Murs.
Join me on Monday the 29th of December.
Getting you closer to your club and every game live.
BBC Radio York Sport.
BBC Radio York Sport, Pete Spencer with you here in the studio. Full time at Queensgate Stadium, where it finished Scarborough Athletic 0, Darlington 1 in that rivalry match. On Boxing Day, Toby Lee scoring again, as he tends to do on Boxing Day against the Sea Dogs. The centre-back heading home from a corner. Borough dropped to 7th in the National League North. They're back in action on Tuesday against Spennymoor Town. We'll bring that commentary to you on DAB digital radio and also online via the BBC Sport website and app. Reaction to come from the Sea Dogs manager Jonathan Greening. That will be online via the Scarborough Athletic Club feed page on the BBC Sounds app. If you haven't subscribed, Please do. You'll never miss an interview for your club. You'll also get a notification when a new clip or an interview is published. In the other early kickoff in the National League, it is currently Oxford City 0, Merthyr Town 1. There are also 2 early kickoffs in the Championship, and it looks like it has now finished. Events there at the Championship, and it's at full time. Birmingham City 1 at Derby County 1. That is the latest score, in fact, in the 96th minute. Derby County going down to 10 men after Joe Ward was sent off for a second yellow card. So the Rams down to 10 men, and it looks to be holding on for a point there against Birmingham City. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff at the moment between Millwall and Ipswich. That's in the 72nd minute, and that is goalless. Elsewhere, further down the footballing pyramid today, in the Northern League, the league leaders Gisborough Town beat Northallerton Town by 2-1. That was a 12:30 kickoff. While in the Northern Counties East League Premier Division, we're waiting for a score update on Beverley Town against Pickering Town. That was a 1:30 kickoff, but struggling to get any updates on that at the moment. At 3 o'clock, there's a North Yorkshire derby as Knaresborough Town host Tadcaster Albion. In Division 1, Harrogate Railway welcome Ilkley Town to Station View. Selby Town are also in action today in Doncaster. They play Armthorpe Welfare. So we'll keep an eye on all of those games throughout the afternoon here on BBC Radio York. But let's get a quick check on the roads. And on public transport, very limited services today on Boxing Day. No service on Grand Central trains or on LNER at King's Cross. That's affecting train services across the network. A few roadworks to be aware of as well. Temporary lights on the village at Strensall. That's because of electricity work. Greenland Lane is closed from the Rawcliffe Bridge and East Cowick because of roadworks. Roadworks have also closed Jackson's Lane in Scarborough from Mount Farm campsite turn off to Deepdale Avenue. In York, there are roadworks causing limited access on Kimberlow Lane between Dreamers Lane and Lakeside Way. And in Nottingley, there are temporary lights on Kershaw Lane. That's at Birch Tree Walk because of gas main. That's your travel news for North Yorkshire. Don't forget, if you see a problem on the roads and it's safe and legal to do so, you can let us know about it by calling 0800 111 48 49. So 1 Boxing Day commentary down, but we're not done for today. There's still another 2 matches to come this afternoon here on BBC Radio York.
BBC Radio York Sport. Every game live and getting you closer to your club.
And Harrogate Town are looking to try and end a run of 11 league games without a win as they travel to face Salford City in League 2. Town currently in the relegation zone and 1 point from safety after their 4-0 defeat at home to MK Dons.
Kelly with the ball out to the left-hand side for MK Dons, looking for the low ball in. Finds Gilby unmarked and he side foots it into the bottom left corner. Away from Belshaw. And MK Dons get a 4th.
But with that ever-growing injury list, Town manager Simon Weaver says they have to remain calm.
We've been well beaten. Then you go home to your family and you can get down in the doldrums, but it's not their fault. You've got to watch the videos of Salford and make sure that we try and find a way, as we have done in other previous away games recently. We found a way of getting some points on the board, and we need to keep doing that until we can strengthen.
Watching for us at the Peninsula Stadium in Salford is Tim Steer.
Harrogate Town come into this Boxing Day bout struggling to find a knockout blow against teams in League 2 right now. The injury list does continue to grow. Levi Sutton joins it for today's game, which means that Harrogate Town have 11 players now out injured. But they've got to find some fighting spirit to avoid a difficult afternoon against a Salford side sat 6th in the table and have former Liverpool striker Fabio Barini starting for the first time this afternoon. There's a full debut for Carl Jameson for Town, one of 3 changes for Simon Weaver's side. Will there be a Christmas miracle this afternoon? Full commentary to come on DAB.
It's a game you can hear, as Tim said, on DAB digital radio from 3 o'clock. Meanwhile, on FM and online via BBC Sounds, are we set for a Christmas cracker at the Community Stadium? Can York City claim an 8th successive league win this afternoon? And can Ollie Pearce add another goal to his already impressive tally?
Now back into Stones in the boxes around the back. Stones 1-on-1, tightish angle. First touch lets him down, pulls it back. Pearce hat-trick!
Yes!
There we go! He has his hat-trick in the first half. 1-2, the link-up play between the 2 front men. There he is, Ollie Pearce. It's game, set and match. We're not even at half-time.